Europeans don't like Americans. That's not a lie. One of the most interesting things of living in Europe is getting to experience how Europeans view Americans.
The food is trash, the people are fake, the culture is shallow, no healthcare, no vacation days.
Many Europeans have set foot in the US with a cautious mindset, bringing along warnings about crime, high prices, and the distance between people. But when the World Cup ended, the most touching moment took place in the darkness of the stands.
Okay, hot take. Europeans are actually being lied to. We have been told our whole lives that American friendliness is fake.
For years and years, Europeans have taken the piss out of America.
America is completely ridiculous, but that is exactly how we love it.
What they once thought about America has completely changed. No one was forced, no one was paid. Thousands of European tourists still reserved their best compliments for America. Why did a massive super event, which seemed like it would be a logistical nightmare, turn into a grand feast of kindness? This is not just an ordinary travel story. That is the moment the truth shatters prejudices. In this video, we will decode how America brought down European arrogance. Don't take your eyes off, because the reason will make your hair stand on end.
Media in Europe sometimes show America like danger everywhere. Don't go outside. If you step out, you need a helmet, insurance, prayer, and a backup plan.
Honestly, if you live in London or Berlin, and every day you turn on the TV and see sensational headlines about social tensions or crime in the US, would you be scared? Of course! It suddenly feels like I'm about to step into an action survival movie. Before coming to the US for the 2026 World Cup, many European tourists were warned that America was very unsafe, with incidents of unrest happening every place. But when they arrived here, everything seemed to have changed completely.
And then people arrive in the US during World Cup and see families walking at night. Giant, clean stadiums. Kids eating ice cream in parks, and like 12-year-olds ordering Starbucks confidently like CEOs.
When they arrived, they were taken aback. The truth is that the media always operates according to a classic principle. Bad news is good news. If it bleeds, it leads. The algorithms of social media and major television networks both like to exploit fear. Fear helps drive engagement and increase watch time. What is the result? America on the screen and America at your feet become two completely separate universes. Tourists come to America with a cautious mindset, only to realize they have just been spun around by media biases.
Then the World Cup came, and millions of people who had never set foot in the US suddenly showed up. And you know what they found? Friendly people, incredible energy, stadiums that blew their minds, hospitality they didn't even expect.
So, have you ever wondered why the European media likes to portray America as unsafe? Beside the clickbait factor, it is also a psychological mechanism that creates a false sense of safety. When Europeans see chaotic news across the ocean, they reassure themselves, oh, even though taxes in our homeland are high and the cost of living is expensive, at least our country is safer than America. That is a very subtle way of shaping perception. But when the World Cup took place, hundreds of thousands of European fans came to the US, and that media wall shattered. So the question arises, is America safe just because of luck? Of course not.
Tell me I'm wrong, and a lot of Americans might deny this, but the USA is so much safer than the internet makes it out to look.
I really hope people don't take this for granted, because America is safe, America is clean, America is friendly.
Perhaps these are the most honest reviews about America, the ones you will never see in the media. The safety that tourists feel is not superficial. It comes from a massive security infrastructure system. Imagine, controlling millions of people flocking to 16 major cities is not simply a matter of assigning a few staff to stand guard. America has operated an extremely intelligent logistical machine, from crowd control systems on a supermarket scale, modern surveillance technology, to thousands of trained volunteers and security forces. You see. They don't stand there with threatening or oppressive expressions, but they turn security checks into a friendly, polite experience. Sometimes they blend in and join the crowd in celebration. You feel completely free and comfortable, but in reality, everything has been brought up to the highest safety standards. It is this underlying professionalism that has liberated tourists from their anxiety. When you no longer have to constantly worry about safety, your heart opens up to embrace kindness. Hey guys, if the analysis just now helped you discover something new about how the media operates, don't forget to hit like and subscribe right away. Your support is the motivation for me to continue making in-depth and objective analysis videos like this. Back to the story. Breaking down security prejudices is just the beginning. The real challenge that leaves European fans in awe lies in a logistical nightmare that perhaps only America can solve. How to move millions of people over vast distances without driving anyone crazy. Why didn't the colossal scale of American superstadiums collapse the system, but instead left Europeans so impressed that they bowed their heads in gratitude before returning home? Let's explore the top-notch logistics matrix of the US in the next section. Yes.
Brits just don't understand. I landed from America 3 days ago, and someone said to me when I landed, another Brit, "Oh, so how was the whole of America? Did you see it? Did I see it?" I don't think Brits truly understand the scale and size of America.
The question from this traveler is also a common one for many people when they first set foot in the US. Why is this country so vast? While back home, traveling from London to Paris is just 200 miles, and you arrive before you even have time to blink. But in the US, traveling from New York to Dallas or LA feels like you're embarking on an expedition across an entire continent. In Europe, taking a fast train and passing through 3 countries in just a few hours is a normal occurrence. The borders between countries are sometimes easier to cross than transferring terminals at a major airport in the US. But once you get here, just one state in the US is as big as several European countries combined. The term right nearby for Americans often means you should charge your phone, prepare some snacks, and reconsider the definition of nearby.
Okay, America is actually massive, isn't it? I don't know how it's taken me so long to really realise this.
Europe is kind of small, right? And it's cut up in all these different little countries. But America is so vast and huge and expansive that in essence, why would you build anything small when you've got that much space to occupy, right?
But this is the miracle that leaves Europeans speechless. How can the World Cup machine operate smoothly despite such a terrifying distance? Many people think that organizing a big event must involve something grand and glamorous on TV. But the true strength of America lies in what we call ordinary competence. You see, when 50,000 people simultaneously pour out of the stadium and suddenly remember they parked in 50 different areas, that's a logistics nightmare. However, the shuttle bus still shows up just when you're most tired. The security barriers continued to move without any obstruction. The traffic police were directing traffic while dancing to the music, and the volunteer was smiling brightly, pointing exactly to the gate you needed to find. These small details don't make it to the television broadcast, but they determine whether a major event will be a wonderful memory or an exhausting nightmare.
I thought it'd be a lot worse, but to be honest, I've quite enjoyed it.
Honestly, super proud. I feel like it's been okay.
A lot of people that were able to come over to America and have had their opinions changed because they've been able to set foot here and meet the great American people and travel from state to state and get to experience America for what it truly is. That I feel has been the best thing and the most successful thing about this whole World Cup. Forget the soccer. I think that has been the most important thing.
America doesn't organize events expecting everyone to line up orderly. They prepare themselves for a small city to suddenly spring up, partying wildly for hours, and then demanding thousands of rides home all at once. They added more parking lots, printed larger signs, and recruited more volunteers. The ability to turn a complex event into a neat weekend party, that's what made the European guests go from surprise to admiration. If you find the way Americans tackle this large-scale problem impressive, why not hit the like button and share this video with your buddies to watch together? Here's a hint. The YouTube algorithm really likes knowledge-loving souls like you. However, fancy infrastructure or punctual buses are not everything. What truly captivates the hearts of proud European fans lies in a dazzling cultural specialty outside the parking lot. Can you believe it? While Europeans only come to watch a 90-minute football match, Americans have prepared a grand feast of entertainment that lasts 8 hours. How has tailgate culture turned strangers into best buddies in just 5 seconds? Let's continue. Okay, now we are about to explore a specialty that Americans consider normal, but for Europeans, it's nothing short of an incredibly charming cultural clash.
We came here and like, oh, who's these people? Do they live here? Oh no, we're just tailgating. What? Yeah. And then they told us like, yeah, we don't even know the guys who live here. We're just sitting in their backyard drinking, eating sausages. They were like, oh, okay, such a big shock for us.
So, have you never tailgated before?
No, never.
Perhaps in European countries, you can't just casually approach someone like this. But in America, all you need is, oh, your shirt is so nice. Exactly 5 seconds later, you and they became best buddies. And it's not just the friendly Americans. Their stadiums go all out by bringing in a huge pirate ship inside. European guests went from one bewilderment to another. They came here to watch a 90-minute football match, but the Americans treated them to a party so fun they forgot the way back. I call this the art of charmingly invading personal space by Americans.
One big thing that I really like about America as a Brit is people have got such good manners. So in the UK, and especially in Europe, you find people are starting to lose their manners. Now in America, everybody I see, most people, are really polite.
In ancient European cities like Paris, London, or Berlin, the people have a very clear social code. They strictly protect personal space, just like they protect national borders. Taking the subway or strolling down the street, people politely maintain their distance and rarely strike up conversations with strangers.
I've returned to Scotland, so shall we have a debrief about America and the World Cup? Honestly, months, weeks, days before this trip, I was so close to cancelling everything. I was nervous about going back to America. But it turns out I had absolutely no reason to be. I cannot begin to explain the kindness that I was shown and that my fellow Scottish people.
But in the US, it's completely the opposite. Public spaces for Americans are like a huge backyard for everyone. And their ultimate diplomatic weapon is the tailgate party. Just imagine. The stadium parking lot transforms into a bustling market filled with the smell of BBQ, cold beer, live music, and games. At first, European tourists entered the parking lot with extremely suspicious looks. What are these people planning to do? Why are they suddenly coming toward me? However, as soon as an American guy shouted, "Hey friend, how about a grilled chicken leg? Take this cold beer, done," the Berlin Wall of mentality has officially collapsed. Belgian fans learn how to grill meat, Portuguese fans borrow flags for photos, and German fans cheer together. No one forces you to change your accent or lose your hometown identity. Americans simply open their arms and hand you a plate of juicy ribs. Just hearing this makes you crave a plate of BBQ and want to pack your bags and head to America for a trip. Right, everyone? If you like this warm and positive atmosphere, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support me. Your companionship is my greatest joy every day. But hey, the hospitality explosion in the parking lot isn't everything. When Europeans pass through the security gates to enter the stadium, they are in for another shock. But this time, it's about the absurd level of pampering in American architecture. Why do Europeans consider enduring heat and rain while watching football a tradition, while Americans see it as a failure of service? How strange is this difference? Let's step into the billion-dollar super stadiums right now. Honestly, if the BBQ party in the parking lot surprised the Europeans, then the moment they stepped through the stadium gates was a completely new shock. This time, it wasn't because of the grand scale, but because of the unbelievable joy. Let's see how European fans react when they experience the billion-dollar super stadiums in the US for the first time. Do you find it funny? Europeans, who are used to accepting the weather when watching football, feel like they are treated no differently than VIP guests at a 5-star hotel when they come to the US. Mercedes-Benz Stadium has a gigantic retractable roof. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles features a super modern dome roof that protects from both sun and rain, and AT&T Stadium in Dallas boasts a screen so large that you can see better on the screen than in person. Looking a little deeper, this is extremely profound. Why is there this difference? In Europe, the tradition of football is closely tied to ancient sanctuaries like Liverpool, Glasgow, or Naples. Those stadiums have a wonderful historical depth, but to be honest, the aisles are narrow, the seats are hard as a rock, and if it rains or the sun is blazing, the spectators just have to endure. European fans see that endurance as part of their loyalty, like a historical debt that supporters must repay. But Americans think completely differently. They design stadiums based on the consumer-first philosophy. America considers a football ticket a full-service commitment. Americans think, you paid for the ticket, why should you have to endure the heat? Why do you have to squeeze through to find a restroom or stand in line to buy water in exhaustion? American stadiums are built like gigantic commercial entertainment centers. They have escalators, massive air conditioning, super fast Wi-Fi, wide walkways, and countless food stalls. In other words, Europeans see endurance as a tradition, while Americans view customer discomfort as a service failure. This physical comfort has liberated the spirits of the fans. When they are not exhausted by the weather or crowded conditions, they have more energy to enjoy the match, socialize, and spread joy. At this point, do you prefer the grand, vintage European stadium style or the modern, cool American pampering? Please leave a comment below to let me know. And if you find these analyses interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next videos. However, the comfort of the facilities or the cool air conditioning is just the outer shell. What truly moves Europeans the most, the thing that makes them feel that America is their second home, lies in the people living outside the stadium gates. Why can a Portuguese or Italian fan find the authentic taste of home on a distant street in America? What is the secret behind the 46 million strong immigrant community that has turned this World Cup into a family reunion? Keep reading to find out the answer. Welcome to the core and most valuable analysis of today's video. If the fancy infrastructure or the BBQ party in the parking lot delights European tourists, then what I'm about to say next is what will completely win their hearts. Many Europeans were extremely surprised to find their own homeland right in America. It turns out that the most miraculous part of the trip was not discovering a foreign country, but rather traveling halfway around the world only to find a piece of their homeland waiting for them there. A Portuguese fan found the familiar taste of cake. A Polish fan heard their mother tongue near the Chicago Stadium, and an Italian encountered passionate culinary debates in New York. This feeling of being far from home, yet not unfamiliar, is truly an extraordinarily emotional experience. Perhaps this is the ultimate weapon that America has been preparing for hundreds of years. According to data from the U.S. Census Bureau, there are over 46 million foreign-born people living here, accounting for about 14% of the population. What does that mean? Behind that number are millions of families bringing languages, songs, recipes, and a love for soccer from all over the world to America. Other countries hosting the World Cup often have to strive to create a temporary multicultural space, but the United States doesn't need to do that. The culture of the 48 participating countries has long been already embedded in the heart of America. The difference of America lies in its scale and spread. These communities are not just concentrated in one capital, but they are present in all states, from bustling neighborhoods to local soccer clubs. Therefore, the World Cup in the U.S. is not a host welcoming unfamiliar guests. It's like a huge family reunion where distant relatives from all over the world come back together. America doesn't make you give up your identity when you join the festival. They simply set up an extra folding table, prepare more chairs, and welcome you to join. Truly, the ability to make anyone from anywhere feel at home here, that is the greatest gift America has given to the world. And now, as the ball stops rolling and the stadium sounds gradually fade, what truly remains? The act of cleaning up, the hug, and the bow at the last minute by the Europeans sent what message to the whole world? What is the profound meaning of this farewell? Let's move on to the most emotional conclusion of the video right after this. So our journey of decoding has reached its most poignant moments. When the championship trophy has found its owner, when the fireworks have faded and the lights in the super stadiums have dimmed, That is also when the most miraculous actions take place. Let's take a look back at the images that have made the global press use so much ink. Guys, looking at these images, I truly feel choked up. The act of picking up trash, or bowing with a hand on the chest, is not merely a courtesy of a traveler. That is essentially a silent apology. An apology from the Europeans for having once fallen into the trap of distorted prejudices, for having brought along suspicion and fear when stepping foot in America. They came here only with the expectation of watching 90 minutes of football, but what they received was a grand feast of humanity, kindness, and hospitality beyond all expectations. Their stay during the stoppage time was not because they regretted a match, but because their gratitude transcended the official playing time. America not only successfully hosted a tournament, but they also completely won over the hearts of the most discerning travelers. The ball has stopped rolling. The golden trophies will eventually gather dust over time, but the memory of being treated like a family member in a distant land will stay with them for a lifetime. The 2026 World Cup has proven something wonderful. When we bravely set aside the walls of prejudice built by the media and step into the world with an open heart, we will always find remarkable human connections. America may not be perfect, but the sincerity and generosity of its people are undeniable. At this point, I really want to hear your perspectives. If you have the opportunity to set foot in America, would you be willing to set aside the news online to experience a different America for yourself? Or is there a cultural exchange story that has ever changed your perspective? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I read and interact with each of your comments. If the analyses and emotions in today's video provide you with a valuable viewing experience, please spread the word by clicking the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell. That's the best way for you not to miss the next in-depth cultural and social analysis videos. A small note. All analyses and perspectives in the video are based on media data, demographics, and publicly available real-life experiences aimed at sharing knowledge and a multi-dimensional cultural viewpoint, and do not intend to attack or represent any organization or individual policy. Thank you all very much for accompanying me for the past 25 minutes. Don't forget to click on the video currently displayed on the screen to continue exploring other interesting stories. Hello, and see you in the next videos.